How's the fragrance life? Hopefully, y'all like my new setup again. I don't want to sit out there in the cold all night in the dark, and got myself a little, somewhat of a studio setup. Hopefully, it looks good. Hopefully, you like it. And how you doing, my friends? What's the fragrance life going for you, and how's it treating you? For anybody who's popping in, I haven't announced this live. It's Saturday, right? I'm on here on the right day, right? Saturday, January 9th, 2021. This is the, I think the, isn't this the first live of 2021? I think it is. I think it is the first live. Happy to be here, my friends. We made it. We made it to 2021. I think it this year, even though I'm optimistic, I think it's gonna, but it's still gonna be crazy. We have to make our dreams come true. It's not gonna be an easy year. Nobody is gonna give this year to us on a golden platter. We're still got to make it. And honestly, we got to break a lot of change and chains and make a lot of changes to make it work. Hey there, my friend. Sorry, this setup is so good with this light. You can pick up dust. It's like, what is that? I don't even know that is on my shirt. I just picked up the cat. Y'all got me worried over here. Anyways, what's your scent of the day, my friends? How's life treating you? I do want to announce a few small things that are, I guess, big deals. There's three people here. Maybe I should wait till more people are here, but I'll probably say it another time. But I mean, a couple times in the video. I'm gonna go back to doing three videos a week, at least for a little while. Give y'all an um, I'll give y'all an extra fragrance video every once in a while, but I need to take time. I need to have time so I can work on my little soap company. I'm trying to get up and going for you guys. I'm trying to expand myself and do other work, and I've essentially really haven't had a real job, and I've really been dedicating almost all my time completely to fragrance reviewing. I already have about 20 videos in backlog. I have a bunch of videos I haven't recorded yet, but I got the fragrances set aside, and I got the ideas going, and I already have like a bunch of top five lists and things ready to go. And again, 20 videos that are already recorded, and I'm also trying to do that so I can do a big Instagram giveaway that I've promised. Anyways, Salt says Scent of the Day is still testing Galleria perfumes. I need to learn. I need to test more of those and see what I think about them too. Those are fun. There's a lot of interesting brands to explore. We'll get into some fragrances. We'll talk about some things like that here later today. But you know, here we're just chatting. We're just kicking it back, taking it easy. Scent Assault again. Hey, everybody saying hello to each other. Hey, fragrance nerd. Good to see you, my friend. How's life treating you? How does life find you? Did you have a happy New Year, everybody? Happy New Year. If this is the first time you've seen me since the New Year, how'd it go? But anyways, I've been thinking a lot this week, and I've just realized that maybe I've been putting a little bit too much time into my channel. I've been putting I mean, again, it's every day, and again, y'all some of y'all might only know the little, I guess, it's not little, but I do a video every day on YouTube. I also do about three posts or more on Instagram, and I'm also trying to expand elsewhere. So it's a lot to keep up with all of that. And I get back and I'll respond to almost every comment both on Instagram and on YouTube. So it keeps me very, very busy. So how do y'all feel about all that? I hope that's okay that y'all probably think that's fine. Again, I've gone back and forth between doing a video every day and three or four videos a week. I've gone back and forth between that. I feel like I need to take a little bit of time, and I've done a video just about every day for a year, maybe over a year, and it's been fun. It's been a ride. It's been a grind, but I just feel like I need to set a little bit of time aside and I have a little bit of more routine to do some of the goals I want to do, like extra exercise. I have other hobbies and things, and fragrance is awesome. I'm not giving fragrance up. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not giving up. But again, a fragrance review every day is a lot. So, anyways, fragrance. I might be boring y'all. I got that out of the way. That was the biggest thing on my chest. That's the biggest thing I wanted to talk about. Um, Are there any things that are on y'all minds? Any? Hey there, Gam. Good to see ya. How's it going, Gamiel? Is that how you say your name? Good to see you, my friend. How's life treating you? So that was the biggest thing I wanted to get out of the way. I wanted to dismiss, clear the room, get some fresh air. That's the biggest thing on my mind. I wanted to let y'all know. Because y'all might be curious one of these days, like, oh, he didn't upload a video today. What's going on? Has Ben sick? What happened to Ben? He always uploads a video every day. And I think, again, I'm going to do 3 or 4 a week, at least for a little while, see how that works out. What just got cleared? Oh, I was joking metaphorically. The room, we got fresh air, the smoke got cleared, and I told y'all, that I'm gonna go back to maybe 3 or 4 videos a week, and I so that frees up a little time for me to do some other really important things that I need to do, and it's not about the numbers either. I've talked about the numbers here on YouTube before. If I was here just for the numbers, I would have quit a long time ago. And again, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for all the friendship and all the amazing things that happen. It's amazing how many awesome people I meet, and amazing fragrances we smell, and the things we explore. But YouTube has just been a passion project. That's for sure. If I was here for the numbers, I'd be gone a long time ago because either YouTube doesn't like me, or maybe my personality and style doesn't work with the fragrance community. I don't know what it is, but you know, people surpass me all the time. It's not a problem anymore. I'm above that. I've gotten above that. So I think you reviewers who do multiple videos a week are amazing. I'm lucky to put even out one a week. Hey, no, more power to you. It takes work. It takes dedication, and I sometimes I put out one a week, one every day, and then I keep up with Instagram full time. I mean, I keep it up like anybody ever could, and I do big things there, and then I'm trying to do even more on even other platforms. So it's a lot. It's almost like having a second or another full time job, and you do it for passion. You do it for love. So, anyways, what fragrances have y'all been getting into? Anything new? Anything fun? It's still the winter months, so I think I forget if I've done my review of it. I'm pretty sure I did. But Polo Red Extreme is another fragrance I just wanted to mention again real quick. It's a designer fragrance. It's not the cheapest. It came out I think in 2019. So it hasn't gotten to $35 or $40, which it'll probably get there eventually. But it's one of the better coffee fragrances in the market. There's Gavinci Play Intense, which is a great coffee. I think there's Burberry Body, might have a tiny bit of coffee in it. There's Versace the Dreamer, which is probably discontinued at this point, had some coffee to it, but there's not a lot of designer coffees. There's Ferragamo Uomo, the signature version. Honestly, I think the Polar Red Extreme is better than the Ferragamo Uomo signature. Even though, don't get me wrong, Ferragamo Uomo signature, it's a nice one. It's a good fragrance. So the Artisan Nuit de Tuberose. I haven't tried that one. Le Artisan's a beautiful brand, though. Beautiful brand. I really respect them. I have Timbuktu. I haven't found. I need to try some more of them. Explore more of the house. I blind bought Noir Squeeze, and it's a great fragrance. Very unisex. Can definitely get you compliments. I felt like it was a little bit too feminine for me, but that's just me. And most people be comfortable with it. It smelled a little bit like By the Fireplace, or it might remind you of Jazz Club. It's a great one, and if you like that kind of vibe, it's even sweeter. So I really recommend it to the ladies who like Jazz Club. But again, guys can easily wear it. If you like things like 1 Million's Privé, you might like Artisan, Noir Squeeze. It's absolutely great, and it has a maple syrup accord, which is a little bit unique as well. So, Joe Cochran says the new house you did sounds pretty interesting. Um, which house was that? Remind me which video you saw. I review a lot of new houses, but there are a lot of interesting ones out there for sure. Stephanie Dimming, so good to see you. Sent to the night, sent to the day, sent to the night. Replica lipstick on. That's fantastic. If you like lipstick fragrances, did you see that Juliet Has a Gun, made a new lipstick kind of fragrance? Did you know that? Had you heard about that? We'll go to Fragrantica. We'll probably cook up and see what fragrance news. I think I'm going to make this a tradition when we do our lives. Talk about a little bit of the fragrance news, talk about the week. If you would like me to share, make like my fragrances of the week, what fragrances I wore, let me know. I could do that for you. I used to do like fragrances, my favorite fragrances or good, maybe good fragrance experiences I had wearing certain fragrances, monthly videos, but I haven't kept up with that very well. Again, some people get bored of the individual reviews, but for me personally, if I want to find a fragrance and I want to learn about it, maybe I want to buy that fragrance. I mean, I try to make content for other people who maybe think like I do, and that's the kind of content that I would look for. So, anyways, let's see here. I did. It's on my. It's okay. Okay. So you know about it. Yeah, that's Sucre Labelle. Oh, you're talking about that one, the Sucre Labelle. Yeah, it's an indie house. They've been out for a little while. It's nice that they are getting a little bit more popular. Some of the bigger indie houses are starting to become a little bit more well known. Again, Posset's, Posey, and Sucre Labelle are probably some of the biggest ones. Alchemia also has a big following as far as indie goes, very well respected. And after you get beyond those four or so brands, you start getting a little bit into no man's land. For some people, indie already is no man's land. But there's some brands that make indie fragrances that are focused more like for witches, and there's all kinds of stuff you can find out there. So it's a fun world, but you're definitely taking a risk on what you buy. Keep what you're doing, man. I appreciate that. I've been on the grind. I don't want to say that I've done the longest uploading every video every day, but because some of these guys are super hardworking. Jeremy Fragrance, you know how he's hardworking. Don't want to get into talking about him again, but he does work really hard. Joy Amin and some of these people, they are very, very active. Again, I wouldn't say that I've done did the longest streak, but I did one of the longest that I've seen, a year and a half, uploading like just about every day. So, anyways, see here. What's your thoughts on Aaron Terrence Hughes fragrances? I have not smelled his fragrances. I don't know how any decanters or anybody. At first, when they came out, I looked for a discovery set. I don't think he had one. Maybe he has a discovery set now. I would like to try Aaron Terrence Hughes fragrances. I'd love to try them. Some of them are a little bit bombastic with the titles. To me, shock factor with names, that's not something that's going to sell me on a fragrance. But I understand how that might be entertaining or rebellious for some people to wear a fragrance that's, named a provocative name or something like that. So I'm not putting down on his fragrances. I haven't even smelled the things yet, but I've heard good things, and I bet they're pretty good. And He's very passionate, and I've watched a couple of his reviews. If y'all don't know, he's also has a YouTube channel, and he's also fairly darn successful, bigger than I am, far bigger, and about fragrances. And I agree with most of what he says. He's very passionate. He has his own personality, that's for sure, but he does pretty passionate, almost. I don't know how to describe it. Those artistic dances like they do before, some of the Olympics and stuff, those expressional. He has like his style, and he's very expressive. So cool. He seems like a cool guy. You got to have somebody who's creative and somebody who's unique to, with that sense of art to make something beautiful. That's for sure. So. Let's see here. What's your new goal with New Year's goal with fragrances? That's a great question. Haven't put too much thought into it. Um, I on my Instagram I talked about fragrances and brands that I want to explore, but I don't have any specific goals. Maybe I should make a video about that. I don't really have any like big resolutions like buy more certain types of fragrances or buy less fragrances or blind buy more, blind buy less or anything like that. I do tend to blind buy designer fragrances if I think they're a good deal, if I've done the research, if they're really tempting, because I don't want to pay five, six, seven, eight, nine, $10 for a sample when I can buy the fragrance for 30, 40, $50 to but if it's a niche fragrance, I definitely will try to get a sample if I can. So I've always done that, so I don't know if I have too many resolutions. I guess one of mine here is to make content that I really love. I mean, I do that, but a lot of the times I review fragrances and I kind of try a little bit to anticipate, what y'all like. Again, I always have a balance of trying to make fragrance reviews that are entertaining and also express my personality. But, I might try to crack a few more jokes and be a little bit more laid back. I'm still always myself, but I try to think a little bit too much about all these different aspects, like who would wear this fragrance, and I get myself into too much, too many thoughts, um, I might kind of mix things up, and when I do my fragrance reviews, or I might confuse people, because I don't know how many people. I mean, in every fragrance review thinking about, I was like, who would wear this? Would it be a doctor or a psychiatrist, or like who would wear this fragrance? I don't know if that's something good to include in every single fragrance review. Um, let's see here. But New Year's goals, I don't know, man. I'll have to think about that a little bit. I definitely want to organize my collection a little bit differently. I don't know if I'll get a different setup, maybe a display or something. I just have this really sturdy table, which I set my fragrances on right now. Maybe I'll get a nicer display, but I don't really have any big fragrance goals. Again, I'm going to try to get myself on other platforms. Again, I don't know if YouTube, if it's just, we do know that the fragrance community is smaller, or a small part of the overall people who wear fragrances. And I don't know on YouTube. Again, I don't want to talk about the algorithm. And again, I'm definitely not trying to throw a pity party, but it's a struggle here. It's a struggle on YouTube. So definitely going to try to put myself out there and see what happens. And again, I'm trying to reach for the stars and start my own company eventually. That's my goal. I do want to review fragrances for in the near future, but honestly, I have like five. I'm sitting on five or six discovery sets, and I haven't reviewed or gotten into all the fragrances. Yes, there are about five or six other name brand, highly respected other niche houses I haven't really dived into. Yes, there's about 100 or 200 things on Lucky Scent that I could try, but I've been caught up. I've gotten to the point where I've tried most of the designer things. Yes, there's limited edition. Yes, there's flankers and discontinued things. I'll probably never find, and they're too expensive to blind buy, and discontinued stuff. But I mean, I feel pretty satisfied, and I've gone out there and tried a lot of stuff. So if I had the money, I could, kind of get to the point where I felt like I've tried most things and I don't need to try too many other things. But you know that every once in a while you'll still stumble upon a new brand. I almost said possum or something. Let's see here. Hopefully that's satisfactory. I dived into that question good and well enough. Matt Strom says the Aqua di Parma Colonia Essenza seems pretty solid, soapy fresh, citrus that projects and lasts. It's nice. Some people feel like it has a bug spray like quality about it. To me, I don't know if it smells like bug spray, but it does have this out. Maybe it's aldehyde, certain aldehydes in it. It's like sparkly and crisp, and high frequency high. It feels kind of synthetic almost, but I don't know if it is synthetic. But Essenza is nice. It's I would try the intent. I'd go for the Intensa or maybe the Absoluta, but that's just my opinion. Papa says Aaron Terrence Hughes has a Discovery set now. It's just shipping, and it's so take advantage of it and buy bulk or something. Let's see, shipping is so the shipping's a lot. Yeah, I don't like paying a lot of money for shipping. I understand that shipping costs exist and shipping costs are real. But if you buy Discovery set, and I don't know how much his Discovery set is, let's say it's $50, and you have to pay $30 shipping. That again, I might get to it eventually, but there's so many other fragrances and so many other things. And again, I'm not putting down on his brand. I haven't even tried the man's fragrances, but I I it's not. I guess I shouldn't. It sounds rude to some people, but it's not super high on my list to try. At least not yet. It's on the list. I want to try them, but John says, "Come on, man." No, I don't think he's crazy. I'm definitely not going to try to claim anything. I mean, he definitely has a very unique personality. I'm not trying to say he's crazy. He seems pretty cool, and he's very passionate. That's for sure. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to say anything rude about him. He seems pretty cool to me, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. Stephanie says I got ATX. What is that? What is that? I'm bad with abbreviations, so you got to help me. I'm sorry, but oxytocin back into my life this week. Aaron Terrence Hughes. That took me a second. We were just talking about that. Oud, chocolate, and rose. That sounds really good. So it's supposed to be an addictive, like an aphrodisiac fragrance. Sounds really good. I might have to try that. So I was thinking of picking up oxytocin. Stephanie Deming seems like you enjoy it. Have you tried anything from Solstice since? Not yet. They are on the list. They're high on the list. They're the next indie house I'm going to get into. They're the one I'm going to explore this year, and they're definitely one of the ones I've been thinking about. And they have a lot of beautiful tobaccos and unique gourmands and a lot of interesting stuff. I definitely need to explore the House of Solstice scents. And I've only heard good things, so I might fall in love with them. Who knows? They might be some of the best fragrances I've ever smelled because I've looked at their nut fragrances and what they're telling me, and it looks like something that I'd be into. It looks beautiful. Stephanie Deming says it's fantastic. I sold my bottle because the hubs hated it. You sold your bottle of oxytocin? Oh, that's a shame. But it's kind of true. I mean, if you do live with your significant other, I certainly wouldn't say sacrifice your whole hobby for somebody. But if you have 100, over 100 fragrances or whatever, a whole big collection, you could find something that still gives you a chocolatey rose effect that you like, and maybe that he would like, or it's a little bit of a compromise. It's not that much, because there's so many beautiful fragrances out there. Maybe you could keep it and just wear it when you go out, and wear a fragrance that he likes around him. you know that's a small compromise, kind of, I think. So the opportunity arose to buy it again, and I couldn't resist. Yeah, just wear it when you're out and about. Enjoy it. So if you had a significant other who hated oud or hated something, I would try to be respectful, not wear it around them. But there's so many beautiful fragrances. He or we're just talking in general. Your significant other has to like something you have. So and just wear that fragrance around them. John says, anybody try Galleria? Galleria perfumes. I haven't explored them too much. No, not really. Again, I've been trying niche here and there. I've been exploring. I got like the whole most of the discovery set of like, or most of the Joe Malones. I have most of the imaginary authors. I have most of the zoologist I have to review for y'all, and a whole bunch of official discovery sets over there. So let's see. I'm curious about Galleria, but I want to hear reviews about people who aren't friends with Ashton. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, I understand that too. You want to get somebody who maybe is less of a friend, or maybe maybe who, again, we're not claiming that they would be biased, but maybe from somebody who, you would be definitely sure that there would be no bias. I haven't tried his Galleria fragrances yet. Again, I don't want to speculate. The cognac one, that looks really, really good. I think a lot of people are excited about that one. That's the one I probably would be interested in the most. But I do want to try his fragrances. But again, I'm funny. A lot of people got really excited, like with Jeremy Fragrances and some of these other influencers with their brands. I mean, it's all good and fine, but I don't know why. It's not that I like these people and I respect them, but there's so many niche, and there's so many things I have on my try list. I have like a huge list on Fragrantica, a huge personal draft list I have saved in email. I mean, I have hundreds of things that I'm excited about, and I still haven't got to try yet. So when a new brand pops up, and I don't know, it takes a lot for me to get excited, and I have looked at the notes of some of those, but let's see here. I got the whole line in decants. They're nice, but none of them I would buy it. Yeah, see, that's the thing I'm worried about. Again, because with niche, I'm very picky with niche. And I think that we should all be that way. Again, again, not everybody has to even mess with niche. Again, y'all know that. I've talked about that on my channel. Um, Not everybody's going to like niche. Not everybody needs to like niche, and you don't have to like it. You don't have to deal with it if you don't want to. There's plenty of designer fragrances, and I mean, you could easily just buy a couple designers and be very happy and very satisfied. But if you are getting maybe deeper or getting into the world of niche, um, you're probably going to dislike more than you like. There's lots of very creative, unique things. They're trying to create certain emotions, certain moods, capture a time and place, capture a thing that somebody might like. There's fragrances from anything and everything, trying to capture the what the Sphinx in Egypt would smell like to anything from an enchanted deep green, dark green forest, and anything and everything in between. So there's all kinds of weird stuff out there. And honestly, if we liked everything and loved everything, then I guess you really wouldn't truly love any one thing, would you? Because you gotta have to like you have to dislike or not love some things to love others, if that makes sense. You can't love everything. At least I don't think you can. Um, let's see here. I would maybe buy, John says, the Dream Woods or the Scent of Seduction. If it was $50 for 50 bucks for 100 ml. Well, it sounds like you're telling me that you think they're designer level quality or maybe even less. Because you know that most designer fragrances are about 80 bucks for the high-end designers, and a lot of them actually have moved up their prices. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but getting into deeper into the year in 2021, it's going to become more normal to see designer fragrances at your local mall once we get back to normal, for at around 100 or maybe even slightly above $100, because prices are going to go up with everything. Again, I don't want to talk about the financial world and everything going on. This is a fragrance channel, but it's definitely one of the big things and one of the big pieces of news I try to get out there. On my last live, I talked about Mugler, kind of being bought out, and Creed, and some of these things that I've tried to talk about time and time again, and I always stopped talking about them. But a couple people said they never heard about it, and they were shocked. So hopefully the word gets out. Maybe some of these bigger fragrance reviewers will talk about it. And I'm happy to see that I've seen a couple bigger fragrance reviewers or some other people in the community actually kind of agree that Creed is kind of, they've smelled some samples and things, and Creed is turning down the quality just a little bit. They're turning down the notch and cheapening them a little bit, not dramatically. They're not, but they're taking away as much as they can to get some extra money out of those fragrances. So, anyways, um, any other fragrances that you suggest I try? I am excited about the new, what was that called? Stronger with You, absolutely. That it's going to be a strong, rugged, more of like that beautiful toffee caramel kind of thing they had going on. I do want to try that, and I'm excited for that. Um, Funny enough, I went to Fragrantica, and maybe it was Destiny, but y'all are talking about Gallery of Fragrances, and what do my little eyes spot? The gallery of fragrances on the new perfume section. So, are there any of those that you think I need to talk about? I actually haven't looked at any of his fragrances besides the cognac one, and that was a long time ago. I heard good things about the Victorian tobacco. I haven't looked at the notes actually. So let's look at those. I'm looking at Galleria Perfumes Moving Times. Looks like a citrus aromatic. It has mint and lavender and incense and vanilla and patchouli. It could be nice, a nice versatile fresh scent. It doesn't seem like there's anything special about it or unique, but it still could be a very good fragrance. I like mint. So maybe that was again destiny calling for me to try Moving Times. But again, we all have different inspirations behind brands. Ashton, or any of us, if we were all to make our own brand, we would have a little bit of our own twist on what a fragrance brand should be or could be. And again, I would like to try these to see Ashton's, views on fragrances. I really don't know what they are. For me, I always like there to be a unique note. At least one or two rare unique notes. That's hard to do. I'm sure that again, if you're working with a bigger company, um, even though he has complete creative control, again, I don't know how possible some of that would be for me to make an exciting niche perfume. Again, that's my humble opinion. You need to have at least one or two unusual ingredients. You can do a lot of creativity with the style, but if it's the same notes that everybody's really familiar with, um, to me, it makes it less exciting because, designer fragrances could have all those notes, and designer fragrances could, possibly make it cheaper and make it in bigger quantities and whatever. So, um, Dusk Till Dawn, I'm looking at that right now. Looks like an interesting, like woody, deep, like dry tobacco, spicy floral type of woody, spicy floral type of thing. It looks pretty good. Looks like it could be pretty seductive. I don't know though. I haven't tried it. Let's see here. Let's catch up with the comments. Let's see. Sibor says he agree. I appreciate that. Joe says a scent I would recommend is Narciso Rodriguez Eau de Parfum. It's a great cold weather scent. I've been needing to get that Blue Noir, the EDP version, recently. Again, I don't know if y'all are watching me on Instagram, but I got the Narciso Rodriguez, the blue. It's the EDT, but there's an extreme version. So it's kind of like an aquatic, and it's kind of sharp and really fresh. But then it has like an irisy, woody kind of feeling in a dry down. I thought it was good quality. I do think it's maybe slightly better than the average designer fragrance, but for the price and for seeking it out, I wasn't blown away with that fragrance. So the one that I'm most excited about is probably Cognac Cafe. But let's look at Victorian Tobacco. And again, if everybody who's still watching, we're talking about Galleria perfumes because everybody's really excited about it. It's the talk on the street. Ashton Jensen's new fragrance brand. I do have to say I like the color of Victorian Tobacco. I like that deep leathery brown color of a fragrance. Let's look at some of the comments real quick. John E. Moxon says, after leaving 5 o'clock Eau de Jambre on rounds to Cherzoutans recently and got cedar. It's very old school masculine. It does have of a like old spiced wood quality. I do agree. I don't know if I would say old school in the sense that it's a fougere or anything like that, but it definitely does have a old school, like masculine, spicy kind of vibe about it. And I definitely know where you're coming from. I like that 5 o'clock Jajambre. I've been tempted to get it. My favorite Serge Lutens so far has been Santal Majusculin. My dad loves Ombre Sultan, and I got him a decant of that for Christmas. And Cherokee is really good. I need to try some of the other ones and see which ones. Hopefully, there's a couple more Serge Lutens I'd like. But 5 o'clock Jajambre is really nice. I wouldn't complain if I had that in the collection too. I actually love Dua now. After years of bashing, I was wrong, and some were awesome. Yeah, I came around to Dua too. Again, I don't know if y'all saw me on Instagram. I keep saying that, but a wonderful somebody who's a wonderful fragrance lover as well sent me a bunch of decants, and I got to try some of the more gourmand fragrances and some of the best that Dua had. And Italian Pommet is a must buy. I'm gonna get that fragrance sometime. That's on the buy list, and I forget what it was called. It was like vanilla. I forget what they called it, but they also have a version of Nishane's Ani, which is actually pretty close and pretty respectable for the money. But honestly, the must buy for me is Italian Pommet. That stuff was gorgeous. It blew me away. It's one of their fusion fragrances. It hits like Xerjoff's or Casa Morati Italica and some other fragrance. It's a beautiful boozy caramel gourmand thing. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning. See, I got my Sony Pour Homme. It's really nice. Smells like a blue fragrance, minus the headache. I've heard pretty good things about the Missoni. I haven't never went for it, but the bottles are interesting. They look like they're kind of a good value, maybe underpriced. I got the 100 Silent Ways. Um, is that what you mean? 100 Silent Ways, Nishane. And did you get both of them? I'm not sure what you mean by there, but yeah, Ani's great. Wulong Cha is great. I love the House of Nishane. I wish I had some more of them. Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and Baker Rouge 540. Those are all great fragrances. Tom Ford's Lost Cherry didn't last on me. I'm curious if you get decent performance. Fragrance gave me like light projection and 4 hours longevity. And for the price of for a Tom Ford private collection fragrance, to me that's a huge negative. And again, some people are Tom Ford fans, and I understand, but I don't think to me it's not acceptable that you're all happy and positive and saying great things about how it smells, and you're not going to address a huge longevity issue. 6 hours is fine, and I think that 6 hours is acceptable, but I think even then you have to warn some people, because a lot of people expect like 7, 8 hours is average for some people. And also the projection's not that great on my skin on Lost Cherry, so 4 hours low projection and people still hype it up. It's an interesting smell, don't get me wrong. It's interesting and it's likable. And there's a lot of clones and a lot of fragrances that came out trying to jump on that hype train, but uh, that's not cool and it's not good in my book. I will be grabbing a few of them, wanting the Carnal Flower. Oh, the Carnal Flower. Who makes that? I'm trying to remember. I'd have to Google it. Anyways, Matt Strom says, anyone smelt Siberian Summer Arige Lador? I have not smelled that one yet. I've tried a few Arige Lador here and there. They have a big collection. Some of these actually oud houses or oud focused houses have actually quite a good collection or big collection of fragrances, and they're very expensive. So maybe one of these days I'll be able to try and get into all their fragrances. But so far, I haven't dived deep into Riche Lador. I've heard very good things, and most people, it seems, respect the house very much. So, it sounds great. I do need to try more of them. I like Birch Tar if it's used right. I do tend to like rugged and smoky fragrances. So, okay, let's see. I hope it to be a rugged gem. I hope it's good for you too, Matt. You'll have to let me know, Matt, if that's a good fragrance or not. Again, that's another house I have intentions to try of them. It's like Swiss Arabian. Swiss Arabian is another house that I have every intention to dive deep into. They have a whole collection of atars, and they have a whole collection of like clones and other actual spray fragrances. But they're not. I have to kind of prioritize my time and what I'm going to buy. And if I had all the money in the world, I'd buy up a lot of stuff, but I really don't right now. So there's a huge Dua restock and new release sale scheduled for Valentine's Day. Maybe that's when I'll get the Italian Pommet. For Christmas they had the 30% off sale, which is I think their biggest or one of their biggest. I think he only puts the 30% off up there at certain times. He doesn't. That's not always available. So yeah, if you get the 30% off, they're not bad for the price. They're still maybe a bit much, but the quality's nice. It's actually nice. Zoologist has a lot of interesting stuff. Most I wouldn't wear though. Yeah, I haven't found a zoologist I have to have. I thought Dragonfly was pretty good. I think it was called McKay, and I'd forget if I got my nose on Dodo, but that's one that I think I need to try. I've tried most of them. I was hoping that I would fall in love with Elephant or Rhino, and Rhino's good. Maybe it'll grow on me a little bit more, but Elephant is not what I was hoping it'd be. Honestly, I like Kenzo Jungle a lot more, and it's a lot more affordable. It's a great designer fragrance release if you do like animalic, musky, kind of green, humid feeling fragrances. So, um, yeah, Zoologist is a nice house though. I never try to put them down. I actually think that Camel is a great fragrance release, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the future. I'm not personally too excited about Musk Deer as a release. It's going to be really animalic and musky and probably woody. I would like something where he had a little bit more creativity, uh, you know, to maybe work outside of ingredients. I would like to see Zebra. I've joked and I've told him this before. I'd like to see Zebra where he did something that was based maybe on like the desert and the green, like like a desert or some of those places in Africa, they can actually be very very dry and very very arid and inhospitable. It's kind of annoying if you were to live there, and but when it rains, all the seeds and all the wildflowers and the grass and everything pops up and it turns like into a tropical oasis, and it's beautiful. And you could kind of do that with zebra, like the light and the dark. You could have like a dark, dry, spicy quality to the fragrance, and then you could have like a fresh spring quality to the fragrance on the top. And but maybe I'm speaking too much. Maybe I should keep these ideas to myself. So, anyways, I told him about that, and a fragrance release. There again, there's so many beautiful animals and so many things out there. I would love to see him make whale. And again, whale might not seem exciting to everybody, but you could make a fragrance that's actually based on ambergris, of course, ambergris, but you could twist it up a little bit because a whale is actually not a fish, it's a mammal. It's actually warm blooded. And it would be really interesting to see what he could do because, whales travel so far. Maybe try to make an accord, like do something with like aldehydes, because that kind of speaks to their communication. Those the song of the whale travels through the ocean actually for miles. It reaches super far. It's like its tone, its vibrancy is like it surprises and has impressed scientists for years because of how far it can travel. So it'd be interesting to see that he maybe can make a darker ambergris fragrance with maybe some like really unique aldehydes or something. So, anyways, let's talk about. Let me catch up with the comments. I ran some people off talking about perfumery. I know that some people don't want to hear about perfumery talk, so I'm sorry about that. I ran some people off. Um, let's see here. Let's see. Try Meleg Perfumery. I have tried Meleg. I got his whole discovery set of his original fragrances, and I used to talk with Meleg pretty regularly. He teaches and trains people if you have the money and all. He actually, sorry, the dust in this popping up on this black shirt is bothering me. Let's see here. But he's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, I talked about his forest and what was that forest and oak moss fragrance recently. It's a beautiful fragrance. If you like fougères, I forget the exact name of it. It's like forest and something like that. I look it up. I reviewed it like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. He does a great job. You like the Russian leather, the birch tar one. He also had a patchouli chocolate one that looked great. If you like vintage style fragrances, especially animalic like Chypras, he's a master at doing that. So if ladies or if any of y'all like vintage fragrances, Meleg is very good at what he does. And I'm not just saying that because I consider him a friend. He is very good, and his name is not very well known so far. I don't know how hyped he is. I don't think he's been able to get his fragrances on Lucky Scent or anything like that. But he has big potential, to get in when he gets into the game to get a big name for himself and a big reputation, just like any of these brands. Arige Lador used to be a company that not everybody knew about. Some of these bigger, really respectable brands, they started off somewhere, and he definitely has potential. But let's see. I love Dua. No, low at first I didn't like them. Yeah, I still think that they're a little bit expensive for what they are, and I personally would not go for their clones that are clones of popular fragrances. But when they do some of these hybrids or some of these clones of expensive fragrances, and they boost up the performance and the quality is still pretty good, and they're still fairly affordable. It's great, for the clone. For example, with Nishane's Ani, you can sometimes find Nishane Ani for on sale for like 150 or so, and again, price per mil to get the same amount of juice. Again, a dual bottle is only 30 mils. You know that you'd probably have to pay about 120 or so, maybe closer to that $150 range. You might as well pay for the authentic real Nishane. Now, when it's a fragrance that's for three, four, $500, that's when clone houses sometimes can really do their magic. But I think Dua does a great job with their fusions, and I've heard really good things about their fusion style fragrances, and those are the ones I'm going to be looking forward to trying in the future. Because again, that Italian pomade, it blew me away. If you're a gourmand lover, I'd recommend you try it. It has one of the best openings I've ever smelled. Let's see here. He has one called Canadian Gentleman. I'd heard good things about. Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet. That's not the one I was talking about. But oh, Joe, you gotta go. Well, Joe Cochran, thank you so much for popping in. Your time and your friendship is appreciated, my friend. Thank you for popping in, Joe. Matt says, "What did you think about Creed Millesime Imperial?" Funny that you asked that question. I don't know if I want to say my full opinion on that because it might offend some people, but I'm definitely on the personal train or the personal feelings that it smells a little bit old fashioned. And not that it's a bad fragrance, it has a beautiful, salty cantaloupe or honeydew type of smell about it. It's actually really unique in that way because not a lot of fragrances have that honeydew, cantaloupe kind of quality about it. More of like, it smells more like honeydew. But if you're only familiar with cantaloupe or call one or the other, I'm just trying to make a point of reference. But anyways, the dry down to me, it's a little bit white florally. It smells a little bit vintage, and it's to me it smells like old, like almost like the old clothes like a lady would wear. Like if you went to a vintage store, and maybe the lady who owned the dress used to like cover it with neroli or something. It smells like potpourri and neroli and like old clothes, and it's just to me, it's not bad. It doesn't. It's not disgusting or anything. It's just not something that I personally would want to go for. Again, I like dark, smoky, tobacco, coffee, ouds, seductive type of fragrances. Most of the time, that's really the kind of style I like to go for. And but of course, there's so many other beautiful styles of fragrances and things I of course appreciate. But Millesime Imperial, personally for me, is not something that I would go for. It does smell refined. It does smell classy. If you can pull it off, you'll definitely smell kind of, I guess, fancy. Probably, maybe a little bit posh. Let's see. But I'm out, Holmes. See you next time. Well, if you have to go too, John, it was good seeing you. Have you tried Rogue Bon Monsieur? No, I don't think I've tried that one. Do you recommend it? Is it any good? Original Aqua di Gio used to have the nice honeydew, not anymore. Funny enough, I bought a very vintage bottle of Aqua di Gio. I think it was authentically sealed. It did not look like it had been opened any time in any way, but you could tell the paper it was really old, and I don't know how if it was stored incorrectly or not, but it had gone bad. It smelled like vinegar. I gave it away to somebody. I felt bad because I wanted to return it to the person, but it was brand new. I'm pretty really 99% sure it was authentic, and it was really difficult and hard to get. And it was like a really old bottle of Aqua di Gio, but I don't know if it was stored in the heat. I don't know if it was stored inside the light, outside a window, or what, but it smelled like vinegar, and it was a shame because I would love to have a stronger, better version of that Aqua di Gio DNA. And whenever I become a perfumer, I'm not going to try to make an Aqua di Gio clone or anything, but it is my intention to make something that recreated that smell and that emotion for me in a better, more unique way. So. Scent Assault says all those dark fragrances don't really work in the summer. What do you wear during that time? Great question. You're absolutely right. Of course, you can wear anything any time. Some people get actually mad at me because I mentioned seasons or seasonality with fragrances. You can wear a little bit less and get away, especially with most of us being indoors. You can get away with almost anything, even heavy gourmands or heavy ouds. If you just put on a little bit during the summer, you can get away with it indoors. Now, if you're going to the beach, if you're going to a beach party, if you're going to have fun out in the sun, have a picnic, go to the park, it's definitely better to wear something fresher and more simple. I love my was it Dolce Gabbana light blue swimming La Paris. I don't want to spoil it, but I guess I will. But Aquamarine, I got that one recently. I think the Bulgari Aquas are an excellent line to get into for the summer. I have a unique, actually, citrus oud fragrance, a couple of those that I really like to wear. I have some Aventus style fragrances. I'm looking at my collection, I'm staring at them, trying to remember what I prefer to wear in the summer. I have the Cartier Roadster Sport. which I think it doesn't last terribly long. Again, a lot of these more summer fragrances might only give you 4 or 5 hours, but they smell really good and they do better in the heat. So that one's really good. If you're looking for a gym scent, light blue, Dolce & Gabbana light blue, still a great fragrance. It still works. It's simple. If you're deep into the fragrance game and the hobby, it can seem boring. It can seem overdone, but it's still a big top seller. People still get compliments and good reactions. And if you want the best gym fragrance, Dolce & Gabbana light blue, is nice. It absolutely works. I'm trying to think of some other summer fragrances that I tend to like. Honestly, I'm always looking for a fresh citrus fragrance that I really like and I connect with. Bulgari Man Extreme is one that I like. Gucci Guilty O is one that I like. I've been needing to try the Prada YSL YO, I think that's what it's called, or Lit O. I've been needing to try that. Um, I think it's like Armaf Niche Platinum. It's not really too fresh, but I can get away with it a little bit if I spray it lightly. I have like a I think there's like the ginger version of Jovan Musk, which is like a cheap fragrance. Some people might think is kind of a joke, but I'd sometimes wear that. So I got some funny stuff over there. I can make again once we get into the spring and the summer. I'll uh, I'll be making some of that content, some of those videos for you, and I do have videos about some of those, my top summer fragrance picks and spring fragrance picks, and all that kind of stuff. If you want to get into some of my older videos, so anyways, St. Bart's. Oh yeah, St. Bart's is great. I'm staring at one right now. St. Bart's is absolutely great. Tommy Bahama, and I'm staring at my purple bottle of St. Kitts right there. St. Kitts has that star fruit. It might remind you of a Ventus a little bit, but it's different, and it's a little bit getting a little bit hard to get. I guess for some people, it's not a terribly expensive fragrance, but I guess it's kind of bragging rights if you have a bottle of St. Kitts. I don't know. I think it was a pretty good fragrance for its price. Tommy Bahama did, they do a pretty darn good job. Again, there's some of the John Varvatos. Some people really like those for the value for the money. Matt Strom says, I tried Creed Virgin Island water and found it to be kind of nice with the lime and coconut, but it's very quite light for the price. Yeah, that's my problem with it. I actually don't like the lime off the top. I think the lime, some people like it. It does wake you up. Just like I've seen some people who seem to usually dislike mint, they like the aggressive mint that really hits you off the top. I actually don't like mint in fragrances like that at all. And it's the same way with lime. Lime is actually one of my favorite notes of all time, but I do not like lime that's really an aggressive top note that immediately hits you, and it's like bitter and acidic. I don't like lime to be that way, but that's what's in Virgin Island water. But I agree, it has big longevity issues for what you're paying. It'll last you 4 or 5 hours. It does keep going on for a little while, but it's like a skin scent. It's so soft and so close to the skin. It's a great fragrance for relaxing. I could really see it working if you were going to like a tropical holiday, a tropical paradise, and maybe you had a lot of money to spray a lot of that on and just have a fun time out there. You like in the Bahamas or something if you had the money for that, which I don't. But it's yeah, the performance is not what it should be, but it inspired a lot of tropical fragrances, and we don't see a lot of tropical fragrances on the market. We see lots of blue fragrances. We see fairly good amount of aquatic fragrances, but we don't have a lot of true tropical stuff. And honestly, I do want to get attention with my lives, and of course, I appreciate y'all here. What I'm trying to say is, I tell y'all too much, and I don't even almost don't even want brands to talk about this kind of stuff because I give y'all snippets of what my brand is going to be about. I'll definitely be making some tropical stuff. It's that's one of the big genres and one of the big things that I think is a huge miss in the fragrance industry in general. I don't know why it's difficult for some people to mix citruses and fruits and things and make something creative. There's so many beautiful fruits and so many beautiful things, and this it's a style of fragrance that people love aquatics, people love fresh fragrances. Why aren't there more fragrances that are able to have this tropical vibe? And I think it's something that's very much needed in the fragrance community And also, there's a lot of ladies who also would like to have aquatic fragrances, but there's none made for them, or there's none that's really playful enough. And some ladies, of course, do wear whatever they want. I respect that. But some ladies, maybe don't want to reach over for aquatics in the men's aisle. Um, there's just not maybe not as much available in that way that should be. I've talked about Pomelo Paradis by Atelier, which is great. It doesn't last very long either, but that one's pretty nice. So, anyways, enough about that. We'll stop talking about that. Abraham says, "Hey Ben, Sabor 80 says just got Mont Blanc Individual, surprisingly great cheapie. Absolutely, that fragrance has been talked about and talked about by almost everybody for years and years. It's definitely one of the best cheapies out on the market. I heard it was discontinued. I don't know if the price is creeping up on it yet, but you used to be able to find that fragrance in between $20-$30, and definitely one of the best cheapies on the market, Mont Blanc Individual, for sure. Let's see. Making Sense says, "What's up, Ben? Listening while. Oh, I hope that you're safe on the road, my friend. Be safe, be careful, and thanks for hanging out with me, Making Sense. Y'all know that he has his brand as well, Making Sense over there. I don't know if any of his creations are authentic, so please, I do my best. Most of the ones I saw were more clone inspired fragrances, but his are pretty good for the money. So, give him he has decants available too. Maybe try out his brand, see if you like any of his fragrances. So, Stephanie Deming says, agree. Tropical fragrances are desperately needed. I agree, and that's one of the things that my brand will definitely have. And I don't know how many I'm going to have, but I'm actually going to have, more than one. Definitely more than one. And not only, guys can wear them, of course, but again, I know so many ladies who liked them. I'm trying to remember the brand. There's a brand that does make some of them, but they're not the best quality. Let me see if I can't remember right here and Google this fragrance. No, it wasn't. I'm trying to remember. There was a brand that does make a fair amount of somewhat tropical fragrances, but they're not the best. I think it's Escada, if I remember right. I think Escada has some, but they're honestly not so available. Not everybody knows about them, and they're not. I mean, they're good. They do a good job, but they're not super good quality. So, there's a big opportunity in the market, so much opportunity. So many people would want them, guys and girls, ladies and gents. It's crazy. So, Sabor 80 says Sud Pacific. Yeah, Sud Pacific has a few of them. What was that one called? Vanilla Apricot. I smelled that one. And even though it's a little bit playful, some ladies might feel it's a little bit juvenile. Yeah, teeny boppers, little gals would definitely like Vanilla Apricot, but I recommend that one. It smells nice. Vanilla Apricot was really playful and actually surprised me. Vanilla Banan is nice. It smells like Hawaiian Tropic tan lotion. I bet that one's good too. And their prices are actually pretty respectable. They might not be, I mean, I don't know how natural they are, but they smell pretty good quality. Some people say they have performance issues on some of them. I don't remember, but I remember there was a tobacco one that they had that I needed to get my nose on. So, anyways, do y'all want to go back and still talk about, Ashton's fragrances? I still have. We were going to talk about this Victorian tobacco, but we're having such a great discussion. We haven't talked about it. Just bought Robert Graham Valor. Supposedly they're discontinued. The rumor is, yeah, I have no doubt, that they probably are. It wasn't a house that got terribly popular. Fortitude was probably my favorite. That was a little bit hard to find now, and the prices are going up on those, so they probably are discontinued. I never really tried to hype them. I think I mentioned Valor maybe once or twice, but I did mention Fortitude a couple times. But that brand never seemed to catch on dramatically. I don't know really why. Fortitude's really nice, but it's true that it really doesn't do anything too different. Still in that, tobacco honey world of things, honey tobacco. So, Dolce Gabbana, the one, does that very well. It's very popular. You have things like Mugler Pure Havana. I mean, you have a lot of fragrances, Jazz Club, and a lot of things that are really well respected that kind of do something similar. So I don't know. Maybe it just didn't stand out enough. There's one called Rima by Carnar Barcelona that also is really nice, but that maybe doesn't get talked about enough. It's anyways, yeah, Robert Graham put out some pretty good fragrances. It was a shame that it was one of a pretty nice designer house, and it just didn't get much love. I don't know if they're shutting down the whole company, or maybe liquidating. I don't know what they're up to. So, any more questions? If y'all want to go back to the Galleria fragrances, the Victorian tobacco, it does have lots of notes that I really like. It has gin, juniper, berries, and apple, and then has some confident, yeah, kind of sweeter masculine notes like it has apple and clary sage and geranium. And but it looks good. It looks like it has a lot of things that I would like. It has black vanilla husk. I love the dark black woody vanilla. So it's got beeswax. That scares me though. Beeswax is not something that I usually look for in fragrances. So Victorian tobacco looks like it has lots of potential. Looks like it could be pretty good. And the Cognac Cafe is the one that everybody seems to be excited about. That's their boozy one. Lots of us like boozy fragrances, so let me get to the comments and then we'll talk about that one. Matt says back in the days of the circus, I smelled what elephant. My nose really picks up what's in Hugo colognes. What's it with the strange note in Hugo's Extreme? I haven't tried Hugo Extreme, or maybe if I have, it's been a long time, so I really couldn't tell you. I have no idea if it has anything to do with an elephant. So I don't want to touch that topic. So maybe it does have a weird note. Maybe it has some aldehydes or something that reminds you of some crazy experiences. That's crazy, man. You're in the circus. Anyways, that's thanks you for sharing. I'm sorry that I can't help you though. We could look up the fragrance here real quick. Hugo Extreme, if you'd like. Hugo. Let's look it up. Let's see if there's any weird note. I know I have looked at that fragrance before, but I don't remember seeing anything that was weird about it. But let's look at it. Anyways, let's see here. Top notes of green apple, mid notes of lavender, geranium, and sage. Base notes of balsam, fir, and cedar. Doesn't look like there's anything particularly weird in there. Maybe there's a lot of geranium. Maybe the geranium comes off as aldehydic or something weird like that. Maybe the balsam fir is kind of deep. Maybe the green apple is synthetic. I'm not really sure. A lot of people say that it's pretty good in the comment section, or people talking about it on Fragrantica. So, since but somebody says it really disgusts them. Maybe it's chemistry. Maybe it's your skin chemistry. Somebody said that, they really dislike it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see here. Thanks for your detailed response, man. Hope it's all well. Absolutely, Scott. I'm here for you. And thanks for being here. We still have 15 people here. I absolutely appreciate you. We're getting into the 1 hour mark. And thank y'all for being here, being a friend. I don't know how much longer I will be on here, but I really do appreciate you. Um, Again, with Cognac Cafe with Galleria Fragrances, it says the nose behind the fragrances is Sidoni. I don't know how to say his last name. Is that Lancaster or Lincensor? I'm not sure how you're supposed to say that, but it looks like he has a good fragrance going on here, and I can see why people are excited about it. It has brown sugar, almond, coffee, licorice. Licorice is an interesting twist and more of a gourmand DNA. It has papyrus, which isn't really too unique, but I really personally like papyrus. It adds a dry, I guess the easiest way to describe it is more like a dry aged cottony feel to the fragrance. I really like it. Sandalwood, coffee, cognac, of course, that booziness. Base notes: oak tree, vanilla, Virginia, cedarwood, and myrrh. So it ends up being a little bit resinous, maybe a little bit deep. So I can see why people like that one. It doesn't have anything too strange looking about it or too unique, but it looks really nice. So I like oaken fragrances too. I actually love Kalinga by Les Artisans Parfumeurs, and it has like a fresh oak quality to it. So that's really nice stuff. I'm not going to look at Yuzu Grove. If you like Issey Miyake fragrances, you might like the Yuzu Grove, but that's not really for me. Sammy Andrews. There's some new fragrance releases. Is Sammy Andrus. They got some of those. I haven't tried those yet. There's some other new fragrance releases. Is Henry Jacques. What was that called? Onction Pure Perfume. It looks like a pure attar oil. That looks fascinating. There's a limited edition bottle of Acqua di Parma's Murto di Panneria. There's a new flanker of Parfums de Marly Delina. It's the La Rose edition. So that's some interesting stuff. Supposedly they have Wild Bluebell by Joe Malone up on here, which that's been released for a while. Maybe it's a new concentration. Let me see here. Wild Blueberry. Maybe they reformed it. I'm gonna click on it. There's a different bottle. Maybe it's just a different presentation. Wild. I don't know if they changed it or rebottled it or what, but that's interesting. That's listed as a new fragrance. Clinique has some ones that I don't think they'd be for us. The quality probably isn't crazy good, but they do have one that's called Cookies and Kisses, so that's kind of funny. um, Bond number nine has a new one called Off Broadway with a dark crimson red bottle, and of course there it looks like gold or maybe silver gold checkering. It says it has top notes of grapefruit and then black currant and mid notes of lily, osmanthus and nutmeg, and base notes of musk, patchouli, sandalwood, and vetiver. So that sounds like it could be nice. Maybe it sounds like, getting into the late, not too dark, but like right at sunset, and maybe somebody's pouring wine or something. And it's still kind of clean, but yet you start getting the spice and the dusk and the muskiness, and that could be nice. I don't know how much I would love it, but you'll know that Bond number nine prices for me are kind of too expensive for what they are. But some of their fragrances can be pretty good. Some of them are misses though, especially for the price. For me personally, so I'm trying to see if there's anything new. Oh, there's yes, I knew that we are gonna find something good. Always exploring for Grantaga, you always find something good every once in a while. And there's a couple new fragrance releases after this that are exciting too. But this one, I know some of y'all are gonna like this. Marc Antoine's how do you say that? Boissy. Anyways, the fragrance is B683, which a lot of y'all know about, but there's an extrait version that came out, so it's a stronger version. It has the same notes as far as I can tell. But it's a new release, so it's going to give you crazy performance. The regular B683, it projected almost a little bit more transparent wise, but it lasted a pretty long while anyways. But if this is like a richer version, I'm actually going to be in love with this stuff. It has notes of agar wood, so oud, Australian sandalwood, vanilla, green apple, saffron, pink pepper, violet leaf, cumin, and Indonesian patchouli leaf, and it's almost has like that tuxedo feel to it. Very seductive, very modern, very chic, musky. Also, I detect a good amount of booziness from it. I'm not exactly sure what that's from. Maybe it's the apple. Maybe it's a combination of the apple, saffron, and pink pepper. Maybe it's a boozy that patchouli somehow they work some magic with that. I'm not really sure, but those are both excellent fragrances from Marc Antoine. Ganymede, I'm sure you've heard of that one as well. But I'm excited to see the B683 X-Straight. Honestly, I would have liked for them to come out with a whole new fragrance, but a stronger version of a fragrance that's really good. I mean, hey, I'm not going to complain. So, do you know Scent Nation's channel? I do. He found Bond number nine Brooklyn at Marshalls just recently for $10. I don't know where he lives, and I don't know how he did that. But $10 is ridiculous. The salesperson who put that $10 on that fragrance did not know what that was. At least I don't think they did. So I've never seen a deal like that. If I would pay $10 for a Bond number nine any day, any day. Honestly, I think most of their fragrances are comparable to designer level quality. I think that on it, I mean, they have a nicer presentation, but most Bond number nines, to me at least, the quality isn't great. They should be 80, 100, like 120 at the most. I'm sure a lot of people would pay 150 for them, but for some of them, for what people are charging, or I mean, for what they charge. It's just ridiculous to me at least. But that's just my opinion. Andrea Mack, I'm sure that y'all know that brand has come out with a new fragrance called Light Source. Um, the fra- do citruses very well. They're kind of complex, and they do a nice. She always does a good job. It has notes of lemon, pink pepper, petitgrain, black pepper, star, jasmine, fig, and rose. Sounds like it could be good. That one would be a nice one to keep up with. Honestly, that's another brand that I have not kept up with very well. They have a lot of fragrances and a lot of releases, and I haven't been able to keep up with them, all of them, honestly. There's a new fragrance release from Xerjoff called Save Me. I have not tried it either. It's it's they have Save Me printed on the front of the bottle. Honestly, it looks a little bit tacky, but who am I to say? Some people might like that. It's not going to be one I love. I'm looking at the notes. It has pink pepper, jasmine, cyclamen, chamomile, mid notes are tuberose, mimosa, ylang ylang, gardenia. Base notes are sandalwood and musk. I'm not a big fan of ylang ylang. It's going to be overtly floral. Chamomile is kind of hard to work with. I usually struggle with fragrances with that. Mimosa sometimes is iffy. Ylang ylang is almost always iffy. So Save Me might not be for me, but who knows? Like a spicy, complex, clean, floral fragrance with some creaminess. It could be good. It could be. Who knows? But again, because again, when looking at a fragrance, it's really about how it's composed and how it all comes together. It's not usually the best idea to look at certain notes unless you're allergic or really dislike certain notes. Um, you know, you got to smell it to know it. You got to smell it to believe it. So the next fragrance here is Sweetly Known by Kerosene. Again, I have Blackmail. I think Blackmail is great. I really need to get Unknown Pleasures. I always mix it up. I always say Unspoken, or I think it's Unknown Pleasures, and that one's great. Highly recommend both of those, Blackmail and that one. And this one is called Sweetly Unknown. Again, a new fragrance. Haven't tried it. It's supposed to have notes of caramel, cardamom, sugar, cacao pod, vanilla, burnt match, and musk. So he was over there lighting matches and playing with matches and throwing them inside some oil to get the smell of burnt matches. That's awesome. It looks like it'd be good. I'm sure it's seductive. I'm sure it's kind of sweet and kind of gourmandy. I'd be interested to see how good that one is. Nothing particularly special with the notes. I mean, the burnt note, the burnt was the burnt match is I guess the attractive thing there, or the surprising note that's supposed to wow you. But I don't know. We'll have to see if that one's any good. Let's see if there's anything else that's surprising. I was talking about Escada. There's a Escada Summer Festival. It has a really tacky bottle. These are there's Lush has a new one called Keep It Fluffy. You want to look at the notes? Are y'all interested in Lush? Again, I've never actually been to a Lush store. I've never seen one. I've never come across one in my whole entire life. But I'd like to go in one and smell all these fragrances that people talk about. Keep It Fluffy says it has notes of vanilla, rose, musk, jasmine, orris root, and ylang ylang. So it just seems like a creamy, sweet floral fragrance. Doesn't so it's supposed to be fluffy. I, I honestly, when you make a fragrance like that, I'm surprised that it doesn't have marshmallows. If you're going to make a fragrance called Keep It Fluffy, why don't you have like a marshmallow accord? See, that's what I'm talking about, like with creativity behind some of these brands. I don't know why you would make a fragrance like that without having something that's uniquely creamy, like a whipped cream or a marshmallow accord or something. I don't know. I don't know. Let's talk about the last one here that they tell us. Oud Pashima by Montal. These are all new fragrance releases again, guys, ladies and gents. I have not smelled this. I'm excited to possibly. It has notes of vanilla, oud, gray musk, and rose. Kind of a boring note profile, but who knows? Montal pulls out weird stuff with very few accords sometimes. So, anyways, Yeah, some people are already complaining. They're saying, really, Montal, another Oud Vanilla, another Oud Rose. Montal keeps, they keep doing kind of the same things over and over. But, anyways, let's see here. A new niche house, a new niche brand. See what it's called. Let me see if we can't find the name of the brand here. Greek entrepreneur Theodos Kalatinis. His collection of numerous fragrances he launched last summer. Fragrance. I'm trying to understand what they're trying to. Sorry guys, it's not making sense. They write sometimes funny, but in a funny way. But there's caramel and the fragrance. It's called Coffee Addict. So I guess the name of the brand is his name, Theodoros Kalatonis. I thought it would. I thought they were trying to say that it had a different name, or I don't. I guess that's the name of his brand. Hey, hey, that's for sure. Hey, everybody popping in. Have you tried Zerzov Origio? No, not yet. I need to. Let's see here. Haha, that's for sure. What's good, bro? Hey there, Tremaine and Scott. Stefan's in the house. Benjamin, what's up? What's good? Good work, bro. Hope that you're doing good, man. Stefan, it's good to see you. Y'all know how good of a guy Stefan is over there. He's a cool cat. He's a cool dude. I'm just talking about some fragrance news. We talked about like resolutions and goals and things we wanted to try and smell. In 2020, I let the cat out of the bag that I'm going to go to three or four videos a week. I'm gonna, I have lots of hobbies and other things I'm trying, and maybe I can try to up the quality of my videos a little bit. I just want to step back just a little bit. Again, I'm not quitting. I'm not stopping. I'm just honestly 3 or 4 videos a week is maybe more than some people, a lot of content creators on YouTube do. So, I've been doing a video every single day, pretty much for over a year. I don't know if it got to a year and a half, but I've been on a grind, a serious grind, and I just want to step back a little bit, take a little bit of time for some nice stuff. But anyways. I like coffee fragrances. I would like to try this one. We'll have to see if it's easily accessible or how you even try that coffee fragrance I was talking about. There's a new Artisan Parfumeur fragrance called Passage de Enfer. It's is set on fire, and there's an extreme version of it. The Artisan Parfumeur is funny that they have fragrances with really long names, and then they sometimes put extreme on the end of it. So it's a really long name that confuses people, especially if you're not a French native speaker. And then they put extreme on the end of it. So I don't know why they exactly do that, but I don't know. They both look interesting. They got these bright red labels on them. Then they tell us the prices. Looks fascinating. Do y'all like Les Artisans Parfumeur? A new one from Les Artisans. Are you excited for the Costa Azura? Absolutely. That's one that I keep forgetting to mention. Let me catch up with the comments. What's cracking, Stefan? Amen. You excited for Costa Azura? Absolutely. Tom Ford, if y'all don't know, Costa Azura, they discontinue a lot of fragrances over there at Tom Ford. But for some reason, they bring back ones they think they have potential to make a lot of money, or I don't know, maybe it's easier to get those ingredients, so they bring back the fragrances that are easier for them to make. But they discontinue a lot of beautiful fragrances. Plum Japonais and Italian Cypress were some of the best, in my opinion, that Tom Ford ever made. I also really liked Costa Azura, and they decided to bring it back, which I'm personally really excited about. I actually thought it was one of the best aquatics I'd ever smelled. I usually don't like aquatic fragrances, but it was one of the ones that managed to win me over. So I'm happy that they're bringing it back. It's more affordable. Hopefully, it's higher concentrated. I did watch Smelling Great Fragrance reviews over there. Sebastian, awesome guy. Love his content. Love what he does over there. And he said that it lasted little bit longer, or lasted a good long time, like maybe 7 hours or whatever. I think it was 6 7 hours, something like that. But he said it didn't project very much, so that's worrying that it doesn't project a lot. But if it's a nice everyday versatile scent, even if it doesn't project a lot, I'll probably still get it eventually. I'm very happy that they brought it back. I think Costa Azura is one of the better fresh fragrance compositions that I've smelled in a long time. So I'm excited about that. Any questions, any thoughts for me? I feel like I'm wrapping it up. Maybe I'm getting a little bit tired. And do y'all have any thoughts or questions for me? Let's see here. I'm just scrolling down through Fragrantica, trying to see anything new. There's the new Gucci Guilty Love Edition. There's two of them. Let me see here. There's a. I can't really tell. It looks like there's a Pour Homme and a Pour Femme version. Again, it's curious to see these brands make Pour Femme and Pour Homme versions. A lot of people in the West and the United States still like that. A lot of people, dislike that because all fragrances are unisex. Anybody can, of course, wear anything and everything, but it's still something that sells, and some people like certain fragrances that are made more for their gender. So that's always interesting to see that divide. Some people get really annoyed and really mad that brands make anything gendered. Some people really like it and they're very successful in it. Like Amouage, for example, with all their versions, some of them for men, some for women, and some of the fragrances are fairly different from one another. And Decent's good to see you. Dean, good to see you too again. Always good to see you, Dean. It's been a pleasure. How you doing, my friend? Tremaine Wilson. I own a 30 ml bottle of Riggio, by the way. Do you recommend Riggio? Is it good? I don't know much about it. Yo, Duncan's in the house. Cheers, Benjamin. Hey, Sabor. Just got Crizia Uomo. I do not know much about Crizia, honestly. Tell me more about it. Tell me what I need to know. I have not tried that fragrance. There's a new Tinzia Terenzi called Marima, which is supposed to smell like Christmas pudding. Oh my goodness, guys! You gourmand lovers, and myself included. This might be some good stuff. Marima. I still need to get myself El Contrario. I've been wanting to get that, and I've almost bought that one so many times. It's definitely one I need in the collection. It's a dark, woody, chocolate gourmand fragrance, but this one, Marima, is supposed to be like creamy and sweet. And I'm trying to find the notes here. It says Marima is a floral. It says a floral, fruity sweetness, maybe on the top. They keep talking about cowboys, which I find funny. Because I guess it's funny because I was recently talking about, cowboy grass with DS and Durga. Hopefully, y'all like that. I joked around a little bit. So here we go. They're talking about the mid notes or the deeper notes. Rum soaked pralines and raisins and dried cherries together with a layer of black currant jam and chocolate sprinkles with some ice white cream. No, not ice cream, but white cream. Maybe it's a little bit of that vanilla. Spicy and sweet. Whew. Okay, I got to the notes. Here's the note. I finally found the notes. Oak acorns. So acorns. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen acorns in a fragrance. We got black currant. We got ylang ylang. We got jasmine and bergamot. So already we got a lot of sweetness and some toasted nuttiness. Some unique florals, some ylang ylang playing in there, and some sensuality, probably with the jasmine. And we got that bergamot citrus freshness. Mid notes, we got the honey and persimmon. Persimmon, you don't see that often in fragrances. If y'all don't know, persimmon has this. I guess it's the easiest to compare it to an orange, but it's not really an orange. It's a little bit more like an apricot, I guess you could say. Imagine something that's like an apricot or something like that, but it's a little bit deeper, but it's not terribly sweet, but it's sweet. It's hard to describe if you've never tasted one. There's oud, there's cumin, there's iris, and angelica. Angelica's nice. If it's used right, angelica is actually something that really impresses me in fragrances. It's something I actually look forward to in fragrances. And the base notes are cacao, patchouli, amber, sandalwood, rosewood, and labdanum. So I don't know if this fragrance will get hyped. Again, I am not the all-seeing wizard of fragrance, but it's a beautiful looking gourmand fragrance. Angel Share got hyped, super popular. It might still even get more popular. Tinzia Terenzi's Marima has potential. It's floral. It has enough freshness. Sounds really beautiful. Looks like some good stuff. So, anyways, guys, it was really nice to go through some new releases, talk about some hobbies, or I meant some goals, and what I want to do, what I want to do with the channel. So I'm thinking about wrapping this live up. Let me get to the comments though. Perhaps the oddest sample in my collection is Hermaine Mes. Do you say Cotes by Etat Libre d'Orange? The Pepperwood and Broxton. Oh, yeah, there's some weird stuff out there. Is this it? Yep, this is it. I'm going to make a video for you guys. A lot of people like to joke about Secretions Magnifique. Secretions Magnifique, to me, actually did smell somewhat disgusting, but it's not that it actually smelled disgusting. It made me feel bad. It felt like a crime scene. But maybe I've smelled too many bad things in my life. Again, I'm a country guy. I've done everything from, hunt when you hunt, and taking care of the animals and dispatching them and all that kind of stuff. And I've been around all kinds of smells, but Sombre, this one is intentionally meant to be disgusting, and this is the most disgusting fragrance in the world and in the fragrance game. If y'all think that Secretions Magnifique is bad, that fragrance just makes you feel bad. It feels like a criminal. It feels like something bad, something wrong. This one actually smells disgusting. So look up the notes of Sombre. It's disgusting stuff for sure. And if you're that kind of person to have a gag reflex and automatically want to throw up when you smell a fragrance, you might want to avoid this one. It's truly disgusting. Let's see here. Heading out, Ben? Absolutely, Scott. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm probably going to wrap up this live about now. We've been on here for an hour 30, chatting about fragrance, having a good time. But I'm sure that y'all have places to go and places to go, things to do. And if you're depending on where you live, the night is still young. You might go out there and do something. I don't know. A lot of us are indoors. I still stay. I still stay safe. So, favorite Hemouage. Jubilation 25 probably. I do like Miss Man. I do want to get Portrayal Man, and I liked Meander. I'm not sure if it's something I would buy yet. I'd still need to test it and think about it a little bit more. I've tried so many good sandalwoods, and there's so many other sandalwoods I want to try. But Meander is pretty nice. A lot of people are talking about Enclave, which that's probably their most mass appealing or newest, freshest fragrance from Amouage, which a lot of guys like the mass appealing, fresh kind of fragrances. So, and what Enclave is probably Amouage's answer. It's still unique. It's still not exactly an aquatic but it's still something more on that mass appealing side. So, anyways, I like Amouage. I really respect the House of Amouage, and Jubilation is one of my favorite fragrances, if not my favorite of all time. Favorite imaginary authors. Memoirs of a Trespassers and Whispered Mist was probably my two favorites. What was that fragrance called? Um, I think those two are really it. I still need to try the waffle cone one, which is a new fragrance release. I haven't tried that one yet. But imaginary authors, they have some that are here and there are good. Saint Julep is good, but sometimes I feel like it's synthetic, and sometimes it wows me and impresses me. It's not really my vibe. I personally don't want to smell like a strawberry, but it does smell good. So, but that fragrance, you can tell that the quality isn't perfect. But again, Imaginary Authors isn't overcharging. Like for example, if Imaginary Authors was charging as much as Bond Number 9 did, I wouldn't be happy with them. But Imaginary Authors doesn't try to charge you, $300. So, or let's see, anyways. Favorite Amouage. Okay, answer that. So Boar says split it everywhere. Didn't know it was a splash bottle. Yeah. When you get those splash bottles, they're sometimes difficult to use and or annoying to use. So that can be really annoying. A lot of guys back in the day splashed fragrances on their face, and that was the way they did it. But a lot of us just don't like to do that. And I do like Attar oils though, like those little apple glass applicators, and you just put a tiny bit on you. I like those, but I don't really like the splash on my face stuff. But that used to be a tradition or just a lifestyle. That used to be something that people just did. Used to be a thing. It used to be the thing to do. So, anyways, everybody, any quick questions and thoughts? You want to say goodbye? I feel like I should wrap it up. Again, I want to say thank you to the loyal people who watched throughout this live. 15 awesome people. chatting about fragrances, hanging out, enjoying life, and spending a little bit of time with me, relaxing. Hopefully you feel a little bit of friendship and camaraderie, and like we just took it easy and just talked about the fragrance news and my channel maybe a little bit. So it was fun. It was lots of fun, guys, ladies and gents. Matt Strom says, "Wow, that Bond number nine Bleecker Street really lasts on close." Bleecker Street is one of the better performing Bond number nines for sure. Again, my favorite Bond number nines are probably Ches Bond. Even though it's simple, it's not overly complex. It's still nice for what it is, and maybe one of these days, if I have enough money, I'll fork out the 150 or so. I honestly I don't think it's worth that. I would rather pay like 100 for it, but it is a nice fragrance, and but not a lot of I haven't fallen in love with a lot of them. Bleecker Street is nice. What was it called? New Harlem was great. It had that tobacco maple syrup vibe. It was what I think that one's discontinued. It's hard to get. Matok was one of the ones that used to be something that everybody talked about. That used to be pretty popular. Um, yeah, I haven't honestly Bond number. It's funny that Bond number nine doesn't seem to really get hyped, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of exactly big popularity behind them. But it seems to be a brand that everybody seems to talk about, even if none of their fragrances seem to get like extremely popular. There was some hype but behind Bond number nine. What was that called? Scent of Peace, and there was the Bond number 9.com, which were both kind of Aventusy inspired fragrances. But I haven't seen a ton of hype there. I mean, there was years and years and years ago, again with New Harlem and a few of these fragrances, but Bleecker Street is about the only one people mention anymore. So it's interesting for sure. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap this live up. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody. Have fun, cook something good, spend time with friends and family if you can. Be safe. Again, I hope that you're liking my channel. What's going on? I hope that it's okay that I'm moving to about 3 episodes. 3 episodes a week. Again, I upload about 2 or 3 p.m. in the day. I know that that's maybe not the best time, but again, I do upload very regularly. I've had some people say that they've come back to my channel after a while and that they're amazed at how much content I have. Again, I have like about 700 or more videos. So if you're not keeping up to date, if you're not coming back every day, I have lots and lots of videos for you guys. If you have something that you have some free time, and if you do want to watch anything that I got going on, so. And I do have a beautiful Instagram going on, Centaur Fragrance. Check me out on Instagram. I would love to have you. It'd be a lot of fun. I upload very regularly and have lots of fun on over there. Different content. It's not all the same content. And I'll catch you soon, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend again. And I'll catch you soon. So thank you for being a friend. It means a lot. Y'all are awesome people. And of course, I know you're smelling good. Wear what you love. Peace out, everybody. And bye.